welcome to someone very special, someone
Very
we've
close.
known
Literally.
since we were in diapers. Like,
Thank
so
you,
this
thank
is
you.
Beto, my cousin. Beto, do you want to tell us a little bit about, yourself, about the brand,
Yeah, so about myself, technically Beto's a family exclusive name. You guys have
Yeah,
already
yeah,
seen.
sorry.
No, you're fine, you're fine. My name is Alberto Gonzalez, and about
Uh-huh.
myself is probably the big reason why I got invited here is I love skateboarding. And yeah, it's kind of paved the way of like the person that I am today. It's kind of helped structure that. Like it's my it involves a lot of my personal interests. It connects all my interests together. It has showed me how to be more sociable as a person. It has showed me how to just a lot of street smarts. Just it's kind of like there's so many things about it that's helped me become the person who I am. It's kind of I have so much to talk about where I don't know where to start from. But overall, I love skateboarding, and since you mentioned the brand, I do have a brand. It's Safarisportsbrand. It's rooted from my other business. I have a shoe business where I sell shoes on eBay, website, everything, in-person pop-ups. But I would make merchandise for it. I would, make T-shirts, make hats. Like, I would just say the name, and it just got to a point where I noticed that I got a lot of sales, and I built a consumer base that strictly only waited for the clothes rather than shopping for the shoes. I'm like, okay, well now I have two different consumer bases: people who want just shoes, or people who just want the apparel. So I ended up splitting them up
Yeah.
just so they, in a sense, kind of like
Just
separate. What's that term? Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
in
So
one basket.
yeah,
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 like
yeah.
multiple
So now I
incomes.
have
Yeah,
two
yeah.
baskets. Is my point. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's rooted from that. It's rooted from my shoe store, and it's all about just plain clothing that goes with what I say almost everything. Very adaptable to any hobby, whether you play basketball, whether you skateboard. Of course, this graphic I'm wearing is skateboard related.
Skateboard.
I've done like hiking related merchandise. So it's all about just
Active.
being an active person. Yeah, being an active person. People who are adventurous. So that's a bit
We
about
love that.
myself and my brand.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Do you get to like design all of it too, or do you have someone who helps you kind of design the merch and logos and stuff?
So I do and I don't. Um, I'm very. I think of something in my head and I draw it physically, and I send pictures to my graphic designer.
Okay.
Shout out to my graphic designer, Danny.
Shout
Um,
out.
yeah, I'll draw something, whether it's on my iPhone or whether it's on a notepad. I'll be like, hey, can you make this into obviously a graphic? And then he'll send me rough drafts. We'll trade. Like, I like this. I don't like that. And yeah, so technically this has been a drawing at one point, like on a piece of
Love.
paper. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so technically I don't design them. I do cook up the ideas. And then my graphic designer will actually bring them to life.
To life. I love that.
That's cool.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think that's really, really cool.
How would you define like your style or your like current style influences that you have for yourself?
Yeah, is it like style icons or like from skaters, or is it just like everything kind of?
So by style, obviously you mean like clothing appearance?
Yeah, clothing, and then also like the way you design too, like your clothing, your brand.
Yeah. Okay, so as for my style appearance, um, it depends on what I do. So
Okay.
if I'm, how do I say, if I'm, just running errands, I'm just on the go, on my feet all day.
Casual.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like I'm transitioning into that uncle phase they call it. So
Yeah.
I'm very
We're growing up. We're growing
sweatpants.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweatpants, sweatshirt. Um,
Las chanclas.
yeah,
Crocs.
or
Crocs.
yeah, athletic shoes that just go good with like any activity. As for more so like when I'm actually skateboarding, I do tend to. I wouldn't necessarily, because the thing about skateboarding and skateboarders is we do make our own trends, but we also kind of copy off each other. So
Yeah.
At the moment, maybe you ladies have seen, but very wide cargos are in style. So
Mhm.
I've been skating in those. That's what I tend to wear. I love to wear hats when I skateboard, and obviously casual wear. Like when we started this, I had it on. And as for a torso, I love like very like plain t-shirts. So like, and this is even when I'm like, I guess you say like dressed out. Like I tend to be plain. I try to keep logos minimal, and I kind of transition to that into my brand. I kind of wear what I like, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not very big on like, having too much going on a piece of clothing. I'm very like small logos cool, whether it's in the middle, left side, right side. I'm very small logo. So
Yeah.
how I transfer what I wear in my personal life is conveyed a lot
Which I
through my
feel
brand.
like translates too to your brand, because even like the shirt you're wearing, like I feel like you can tell, like it's almost like what you like to wear. You know, you like
Yeah.
design it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
like a lot going on, and well, no matter out of all the outfits that I mentioned, casual wear, errand wear, going out, I just like to keep it simple.
like to keep it simple. We love that. Let's see the other one. I know, like during like this whole experience of skateboarding, you've gotten a lot of cool opportunities. You've even like recorded a couple of things. But have you met any skateboarders? Which I think you
Yeah.
have. Like I remember you posting something about a few.
Yeah, I've met several.
Uh-huh.
There's two awesome things when it comes to interacting with like skateboarders a person could look up to, like in terms whether they're professional or amateur. There's opportunities to meet them. So there's two different opportunities. One is the very easy, very accessible way where brands like let's say like a shoe company or a board company, they'll do events. So they'll have a meet and greet, like a signing appearance at skate shops, or maybe even like a bigger like box logo retailer, like I don't know, like Nike, and they'll
Uh-huh.
like promote it, like, hey, meet this person. They could be promoting a product, so get this person's new shoe, get it signed, get a photo with them. Or it'll just be like at a skate shop, like, hey guys, like this board brand will be in town. So that's a very accessible way, and it's very common. Of course, on the
Okay.
business side, it's their way of of promoting their
Promoting.
brand.
Yeah.
And yeah, those things tend to not be too packed, and like they do those often. So you go on, and then with like Instagram and social media, it's like these events are easier to promote. So you can meet who you want to meet at the right timing. But as for the
Hmm.
other alternate version, other than signings and whatnot, is actually
Yeah.
seeing them in action in the streets. So this is kind of
That's
more where
exciting.
I would prefer now, because
Yeah.
those autograph events are kind of more based towards the younger fan base, and not to say that there's
Yeah.
like an age limit to any of that, but
Uh-huh.
me, that I've been in SoCal, there's so many of those things. I've been blessed
Yeah.
to go to a lot, especially when I was a kid. So um,
Yeah. Which is like exciting too, because like
yeah,
it's like I get.
it's
Yeah,
super
yeah.
exciting. And yeah, now I just prefer, I kind of obviously, I work a lot, and I probably wouldn't want to make time to, oh, just go
Yeah.
line up here and wait to get this thing signed. But the other way is seeing them in the streets. So skateboarders tend to film and record, their video footage that they need for video projects, for commercials, etc. And as long as you have a car, as long as you have a filmer, you can sometimes end up in the same spots as these professionals. So that's an
Yeah.
experience I wanted to talk about to answer your question. So
Yeah.
I remember LA is a boiling point for those who don't know. Skateboarders are there all the time. They live there. Brands are based out of there. Everything's going on.
Yeah.
Like if you want to make it in skateboarding, you probably got to be in Los
L-
Angeles. So
For
yeah,
sure.
so this was in 2017 maybe. I was kind of more active in getting video projects done.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah, so I went with a buddy. We went to go film at a high school called Westmont, or
Okay.
no, Belmont. Sorry, Belmont High School. That's a very
Uh-huh.
popular spot. A lot of professionals go there. And again, I'm kind of, at that time I was in my early 20s, so I tend to not really like talk to skateboarders like professional. Like, like, oh, hey, I'm a big fan. We kind of, now it's like it's kind of a
You try
code.
to keep it
Yeah,
casual. Yeah,
it's kind of a
yeah.
code. Like you can't really do that anymore. Oh well, like
Yeah.
when you do it at an older age. So I get there and there
Yeah.
was like a handful of professionals. I'm like, oh, this is cool, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm over here.
Yeah.
A lot of them were off to the side on lunch benches. They were just chopping it up. I don't know if they just finished, but there was another professional skating with me. His name, he's from Poland. His name is Seva Kroeko. Yeah, like I was trying to get my trick on film and I got it. And so yeah, obviously it's a big anytime you complete a trick, you know, it's a big moment for you and your filmer because you guys made your times worth it, you know, and the travel.
Yeah, you did what you were
Yeah.
setting out to do.
And so yes, Seva rose up to me. He's like, "Hey, did you get your trick?" And I was all like, I kind of like blacked out. I was like,
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I did. He's like, yeah, man. Like, you know, he like gave me his fist, like pound it. He's like, yeah, it was really cool. You made it look cool. He was just complimenting me on it. He was like, yeah, you made it look cool. I'm glad you got it. I technically didn't see you land it, but I just saw you and your filmer like celebrating. I'm like,
Like,
yeah, I
proud
landed
of
it. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that was cool because, you know, just very like how I mentioned a moment ago. Like I won't go up to talk to them, but in my head I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Really?
They
Yeah.
have it casually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a cool
Yeah.
experience. It happened, yeah, like
Yeah.
early 2017, so 7 years ago. But yeah,
Okay.
I'll still be running into them like again at these specific locations, but I would say I was a lot better when I was younger, so I'm not really
Yeah. Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, you're like, I was kind of like in my prime at that
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Right.
Yeah. I feel like also it's very like a collaborative sport. So even if you guys happen to be at the same skate park, you guys will kind of like cheer each other on.
Exactly. Yep. You
Yes.
you hit the bullseye on that one. It's very selfless. It's very, hey, your wins are my wins. So
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's really cool. I feel like that's why it's grown to be like the community that it is.
yeah,
Which is really
exactly.
cool. Yeah.
And with meeting people, is it true that you also met Tony Hawk?
Yes. So that one was. So I've met him twice.
Okay.
So there was this video premiere in 2015 called "We Are Blood." Very hyped up video because the director Ty Evans, he used cameras that weren't introduced into movies yet. They barely started being, if I'm not mistaken, these cameras. I think they're called the red cameras, but they're barely starting to get introduced into Hollywood. Probably some years back, but he hyped it up. He's in the film industry himself. He had a lot of big corporations sponsoring the project. So technically, skateboarding is not as big of a market compared to other sports. You know, like your basketballs, your football. So the fact that like skateboarders were getting this access to this technology first, everybody went to that premiere. It was at the Montalb. So forgive me if I say it wrong, but the Montalban
Yeah.
Theater.
Okay.
Montablan. Every professional
Yeah.
was there, and I was 19, so in my head I was like freaking out on some people, but there was a few that I did ask for photos, like, oh hey, like, you know. And so yeah, again, everybody in the industry were there, professionals, brand reps, just everybody, filmers, and yeah, I was all like, you know, I'm over here like saying, like, okay, this person's here, who haven't I seen? And so I told my buddy, I'm like, hey, you know what? Everybody's here but Tony Hawk.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
right, you said it too.
Exactly. And then I needed to go to the restroom. I don't think the film had started yet.
Uh-huh.
And I did go use the restroom. And then, yeah, I see a guy just chilling by himself. I'm like, that guy's tall. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's Tony Hawk. And so,
You were just in shock.
exactly.
Yeah.
My buddy ended up going to the restroom too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, hey, Jason, get my phone. You know, I'm asking for. He's like, all right, cool. And then I was like, hey, like Tony, and he was on his phone, so I felt bad for asking him. But I was like, hey, Tony, like, is it cool if I get a photo real quick? And he's like, yeah, sure. You know, all nice about it. So that was cool. And then flash forward to the second time that I met him. It was at a charity event. It was the charity event was hosted by Nigel Houston and his mom, and he's
Oh, okay.
Tony's good friends with Nigel, so he went there to support. And I technically didn't ask him for a photo, but I was there with my girlfriend, now fiance, and yeah, she thought he was pretty cool. Obviously, like even if you don't skateboard, I feel like a lot of people do know who he is. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, she's like, oh, I'd be down. I'm like, yeah, I'll ask for you. So Yeah, I talked to him then the following year.
Like, I already know him, so I'll do it for you.
Exactly. It was like I met him right now. I'm kidding.
I met him.
You're like, he's a chill guy.
Yeah. That's so cool. I think that's always like exciting too, because like you could like look up to them and then you see them and they're like just like normal and chill, and you're like, this is kind of crazy. Like, it
Yeah,
blows your mind.
they're real people too. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like, yeah, I feel like what's another like speaking of all of these like icons in skateboard, like what is an iconic like memory or core memory for like the history of skateboard that you've seen or that you've kind of like kept up with, you know? Like something that's current, I guess.
In person or it doesn't matter. Like if I saw it on TV or
You
something.
could do, yeah, it doesn't matter. You
Okay.
could do both, yeah.
I would say the Olympics. I haven't obviously attended one. Obviously, I see them on TV. But I remember
Yeah.
the first time I saw them, I couldn't believe it because
Yeah.
without getting too much into details, skateboarding is very like everything else. There's its politics side of it and or political side of it, and a lot of people aren't for it. They're very like,
Yeah.
no, we're very rebellious, we're very rule breaking for us to be organized into the Olympics, wear a uniform. It just doesn't make sense, drug tested, etc. I'm on the other side where I believe that it should. And this may sound very biased, but I do believe it's the hardest
Yeah.
thing to do. I don't know if thing's the right word. Hardest sport, hardest activity. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you can't master it because there's so many different genres, and
Exactly.
there's no real checklist for tricks to finish because you got to do those
Exactly.
tricks on just the ground, on a quarter pipe, on this obstacle, that obstacle. You really can't finish skateboarding, and skateboarding is very physically demanding.
Yep.
We've learned, us as skateboarders, even if you're not professional, even if you're not amateur, you learn how to absorb pain. So, you know, we'll jump
Hook and bone.
downstairs, we'll, you know, for like hours, get beat up
Yeah.
just to land a simple trick for the satisfaction of completing it. And, you know, just having that, what's that term? But just having that, like,
Resilience.
yeah,
almost, right?
that promise
To
to
be able
yourself
like,
to not leave without finishing this task that I have for myself. No one's forcing you to do
like a
it.
commitment.
Yeah,
yeah.
no one's forcing you to do it. You want to do it for yourself, whether you're getting it on film or not. So, I think it's the hardest thing somebody could do. You know, it
Yeah.
requires a lot of balance. It requires pain tolerance. It requires patience, and overall, it's something where you can express yourself. So for us to technically have uniform and not have uniform is really cool because, you know, you have your organized sports, basketball, soccer, you got to be in a team, you got to all wear the same thing. As for skateboarding, you can do all that I mentioned, but, you know, just express yourself by the way you dress. So I just really think the Olympics helps showcase that to the world that, like, look, there's these superhumans, you know, do this almost every day, and you know, not to talk down on anything else, but you know,
yeah.
when these guys
But yeah,
fall,
like,
they don't take 2 weeks off, 1 month off. You know, these guys get back up and finish what they started. So I just,
For sure.
I'm just happy that I was alive to witness it get into the Olympics. Because again, I just think it's the hardest. So I think that's like the most iconic thing that I've witnessed as a
Yeah.
fan, as a skateboarder itself. Is just awesome. And like I mentioned a moment ago, like or kind of we've kind of constructed together, like another skateboarder's wins is our wins as well. So, you know, even if obviously I'm rooting for USA when it does happen, but even when
Yeah.
obviously Japan has won gold twice, it's still still an honor to see just the sport in general just progress and getting its like overdue respect.
Yeah.
I think like broadcasted worldwide now.
That's
that
also
more
special.
people could see it and understand
The sport of it,
Mhm.
yeah. And I think also how you were saying, like, I think it's also interesting in the sense that it's like it comes also from surfing in a way, and like if that can also kind of get its like time to shine, I think it's also nice to now see also skateboarding getting that like kind of momentum going, which I think it's also like how you said, it's very like a disciplined kind of thing, but it's almost something that you put on yourself type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You put it together perfectly.
Have you broken? I mean, I know you have, but like, what was like like your arm or your legs that you broke and you kind of like it was like a hard recovery, I guess, or it was like the most brutal fall that you had.
Okay, so I've never broken anything. So,
Oh, really? Okay, okay.
and I'm kind of ashamed of it. As funny as it sounds,
Okay.
because yeah, usually when you break
You're like,
something,
I'm not a real skateboarder.
yeah,
Yeah.
usually when you break something, it obviously signifies you're trying something extremely dangerous. But again, there's several genres in skateboarding, and unfortunately, I'm not in the stair set genre. Well, actually, that's not a
Okay.
genre itself. It's street skating, but I wish I could jump down stuff like I used to.
Uh-huh.
So to answer your question, is back in 24 a decade ago, 2014.
Wow.
I was trying to kickflip a set of stairs,
Uh-huh.
and I have it on Instagram. But yeah, I'm ollieing it. That's like everybody's warm up trick when they're like jumping off something and just an ollie. Ollieing it several times. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna commit to these kickflips, and I keep almost getting it, and then yeah, I think I had almost landed it, but it just turns into a double ankle roll because my foot. So this is supposed to be the nose of my board. My foot went in front of the board, so
Yeah.
it landed on the
Oh,
both things landed on the cement, and while my foot was planted, my board kept going. So my
Yeah.
foot, in a sense, got ran over,
Okay.
and
By the
yeah, my
skateboard.
ankle just kept going, and I don't even
Oh my
I've rewatched that video so many times. I don't know how I rolled the back ankle too, but the other one just
Yeah.
rolled itself, so I had like a double ankle roll. But this one, I'm surprised how it didn't break. It went under the board,
Yeah.
and then yeah, my body kept moving forward, so I felt like
See,
it
that's the
broke.
one I saw that I thought that you had broken your ankle.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I think it's that one. Because, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I
crazy.
broke it, but nothing. I mean, it was I don't know if it was sprained, but it was super purple and
Uh-huh.
fat, and
Swollen.
at the moment it felt like it was on fire. It just felt like heat. And in the
Yeah.
video, yeah, I'm like, I think I broke it. I think I broke it. And I just started standing up because I didn't know if I
Yeah.
broke it, but I couldn't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I couldn't put weight on it. And then yeah, obviously like my friends had their own little cameo in it on like telling me what to do. Like, like don't walk on it, etc. So
Get eyes.
yeah, that made me not want to do stairs. I've tried them again. I've done a smaller set, but I'm like, damn, like I can't really jump off stuff. Like it's all mental. So I'm like, I don't want that to
Yeah.
happen again. I think I went back probably like half a year later, and I just couldn't do it. I think I ollie the same step. I could do the most basic trick off stairs, but
Uh-huh.
that injury alone, even though I didn't break it, I felt like I did. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you kind of like psyched yourself out and you're like, yeah, no, I don't
yeah,
wanna-
I'm like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I don't want to do this again. So kind of ashamed
Yeah.
to admit it, but yeah, I've gotten better elsewhere on other obstacles. But
Yeah.
that's probably my worst injury, so I haven't broken anything. I mean, I'm still skateboarding, so the possibility
Yeah.
is there, but I hope not.
Fingers
You're like,
crossed.
I
You
saved. I got
don't.
saved that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like also seeing like the board too, like I think like another way how you were saying about like representing yourself or kind of like showing like who you are is also like the decoration of the board. I feel like that's very true, right?
Yes.
Like yeah. I feel like have you had any like things that you go to when you go shop for your like to customize your board or anything like that? Anything specific?
It's all on size, to be honest. Sometimes, sometimes board graphics are very nice, like
Mhm.
like oh like this goes with my like whatever, like let's say it's a board graphic inspired by like a music artist, and you just happen to like that music artist, that's cool, but it's all about size. So it's all about size of the wheel, size of the board, size of the truck. So yeah, I practically go off size over looks. I do avoid some things, so if anything, I probably avoid things rather than look for things. So
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, I probably wouldn't get like black wheels. I don't know, it just seems kind of
Yeah.
beginnerish to me.
I
I
know.
feel like I'm a pro. I'm sorry.
No. No, I don't know. They just give me like plastic vibes. I've had like legit black wheels, like the actual like urethane professional level, but
Right, yeah.
it just I don't know. Like it's just like a skate. I think my OCD is like birthed from skateboarding because other skateboarders have OCD too. I can't do black wheels. For a board graphic, is there anything I avoid? I like them simple, so like yeah, if there's too
Okay.
much going on, I'm probably like, oh, I probably would escape this. So kind of like my clothes, I like them simple. Like this one, I would probably skate
Yeah.
just one color. Technically, it's a
Yeah.
foil, but I've skated several boards of these. But yeah, if anything, I avoid
Just
things rather
the
than look
better.
for things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just need
I
new
love that. I
clothes.
think that's cool because it shows. It shows like and it's very true to like how you said like what you wear, but also the way you ride your board and stuff like that. I think that's
Yeah,
really cool.
Part
thank
of an
you.
accessory.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's an accessory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
see.
so what is next for your brand? Is there anything you're working on for it?
Yeah, any new projects or anything like that?
um, uh, I do want to make more sweatshirts now that it's cold. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was really successful for me last year. And the thing about
Okay.
this brand, Safari Sports Brand, is I have fun with it. So of course it's
Yeah.
nice to make money too, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't work or I don't really follow the apparel rules. And what I mean by that is, you
Yeah.
have like your like top name brands that bring out collections by the season, or maybe they'll
Mm-hmm.
hop on this trend. And this brand reflects my actual style, simplicity,
I love that.
adventure. So, funny enough, I'm not very active on it
Uh-huh.
because when I feel like bringing out something is right, that's when I'll do it. So
Yeah. I love that.
let's say, I don't know, let's say snapbacks are in style. I know a lot
Yeah.
of like big name brands, whatever you see at your at your malls, at your box stores. Every brand will hop
Like
onto a
Vans or
trend.
something.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm very like
Yeah.
I want to see myself and other people wear this color, so I'll do a hoodie in that
Love
color.
that.
So I'm very intentionally inactive. I will bring out stuff when I feel like it's ready. And to answer your question on what's next for it, I feel like right now is a good time to bring out some hoodies. So
I
last year
love.
they were a hit. I brought out two colors. It was a like a taupe sand and a royal blue. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that taupe sand did really good. People asked me for when I sold out. I make small quantities, of course. So
Okay.
when I sold out, I had more people ask about them.
Yeah.
And there's people that I don't know, I don't follow, that tagged my brand. That's always amazing as well.
That's
So I'm like,
great.
oh, this person, like the hoodie, it's working. And
Yeah.
so, but by the time where I got the hint that okay, people love the hoodies, it started getting warm. So I'm like, you know what, even though I just mentioned
Next
I
to
don't
it.
care about the money, I also don't want to lose too much money. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll wait till next winter, so or next fall. So yeah, right now is
Yeah.
the time where I feel like I'm gonna bring out some hoodies. I really don't know if I'm gonna do the same colors. Maybe test
Okay.
out some new ones, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's what's next. Make some
You'll get
hoodies for.
olive green.
I
I
know.
will
I was
get
about to
olive
say
green.
if you get a green one in, Natalie will for
Yeah.
sure get
What
that
what
one.
Love
what shade
olive
of green?
It's like between like olivey green and like a sage green. Like in like there's like a mixture of like the both.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are my favorite.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm literally like you. Like I prefer black and white. Like look at like my belt, like black. Like like I feel like it's very simple. Very like yeah. So I think that's cool.
Awesome. Yo, that's what's next for the brand. I mean, technically, I have some stickers on the way too, so I guess that's part of what's next.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm like we're gonna tag you in everything, so then that way like people could see it, people could shop it, we'll shop
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking time. I know
Oh,
you were like super busy,
no, thank you
but
guys.
thank you. We love you.
Miss ya.
Likewise. Well,
Have another
time
fun
out.
weekend.
Time out. Before we conclude this, I have a
Okay.
question for you guys.
Ooh, yeah. Perfect.
So, but yeah, to even though I interrupted your conclusion, I do appreciate you
No, you're
guys
good.
asking me.
Hmm.
I try to spread skateboarding in a positive light any chance I get. So obviously this is one of those chances. So thank you, and for everybody involved in my skate life, I want to say thank you. But most importantly, My
Shout out.
yeah, most importantly, one of my best friends, Robert Alvarez. He
Okay.
has his own brands. He films, so um,
Love.
a lot of what I do is also a reflection of him. So I wanted to give him his flowers while I have this platform.
Yeah.
But my question out to you guys is,
Uh-huh.
you know, I'm a creator myself, so I love what you guys are doing with the whole podcast. What's your guys'
Yeah.
goal with the podcast?
Yeah, let's see. I think how we were talking about community, like within like the skateboard community, I think it's just like really fun to get like, I don't know, I think like having like been out of like school for a while, you kind of lose that community of like learning, and like for me it was like fashion. And so I think like if we can build a community but you're learning about like the history of certain trends, I think that's very interesting. And so like you meet other communities, so like we kind of like obviously are like dipping our feet right now into like the skating community and stuff like that. So I think it's just like growing it to be like a community where like people can kind of like share their trends and like their
learn.
ideas. Yeah, more interviews. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Even like if we get to like travel with it, I think that would also be really cool to like just meet people and places and things
Oh,
like
definitely.
that. For me, that's
Yeah.
what I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would piggyback around the same thing. I think it's also I always take in consideration where it's like every day you're learning something new and you learn something from everything. So I feel like even though we research and everything for every topic and stuff, we always end up learning new stuff. And it's like, it's like a little like gem to our like life. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
like
oh, I
something
learned
new.
now this and I learned now that. And so I feel like as building that community, it's like these are information and a history that, you know, we want to share to other people who might have the same ideas and might want to learn about it, or simply just don't know about it, and we're opening up this new community for them and this new idea and culture or trend or style that they didn't know was, you know, that they didn't know was
That they didn't even know existed.
existed. Yeah.
Or it was like as big as like they thought. Yeah. So I think that's cool. I think just like informing, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan, and I just love when anybody creates something, especially people that I know. So
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you guys, and
Thank you.
yeah, I hope you guys are having fun nonetheless. That's most important.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Same.
Yapping always.
Yapping away. Yeah. I know. And like with you too, Sneaker Safari, or like both Sneaker Safari and then Sneaker, like the active brand wear, I really like. I'm so excited about it.
I'm always liking. I'm always
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I noticed. That goes a long way. Thank you.
Follow, like. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.